That's the funny thing. All right. Welcome to Goof On, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. It is Wednesday, April 5th, 2023. Is it 5th or is it 5th? Why do I hear people say 5th? Like it's a Sith, but it's the 5th, right? I hear more people say 5th than 5th. I mean, my whole life. So am I saying it wrong? I think not. I looked it up in the dictionary. I'm pronouncing it correctly. 85% of you are doing it wrong. It's 5th, and it's a Sith Lord, not a Sith Lord. Very confusing world we're living in with the English language, yeah? Yeah. Welcome to the show. We got a good one for you tonight. I say that every night, and I don't fail. It is fantastic putting these things together. Some people say, Rich, where do these ideas come from? Every show's different, the same. But yeah, I got something different going on. Yeah, I don't know. What do you want from me? I don't know. I try not to repeat the same thing twice in a year. Sometimes we go back and there's ongoing stories like the core bell of our lives. And then we got Eligondo days. That's the way it is. Those shows are always running. So you'll hear the similar content, just the story that never ends. That's what I like to do. I like to bring it all here. Let's talk about it, or I'll talk about it. I know I was supposed to bring in people the other night. Forgot. Totally forgot. I'm bad, but I don't mean it. I just forget. I look at the time. I do all this, babble. Next thing I know, there's 20 minutes left in the show. And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to bring people on. It's very sad. Getting old. All right, I'm not going to talk about it. We do it every show, not this show. We are going to talk about James Fox, though, really stirring the pot. But is he? I was watching that new UFO Jesus video he put out. And I want to talk about what James Fox is saying about this year being the year. Because between you and me, every year it's the year. You know what I mean? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? It's every year. Hey, it's going to be the year. And by the time it's June, they can't say that anymore. Yeah, 4 months in. Although Fox has been saying this since January. But he just had a meeting with some very smart people. So we're going to talk about that. Yeah, some intelligence, some agents or some smart people in the intelligence division of our government. He did. He had. My thing is, what are you telling me for? Why? Do you think I care? Of course I care. But tell me when something happens from the meeting. And then when nothing happens, tell us, hey, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, months, whatever it's been, I've been in this situation with the intelligence department, hearing and looking at evidence and hearing what they have to say about what they're going to do and try to do. And is this our technology? Somebody's hiding something from us. Is there something going on inside the government? Yes, and yes. All of the above. This is just for show. What he just went, well, you'll see. What he just went to with these intelligence officers, it's all for him. It's a show. They have to do this. They have to. They got to make it like they're fake. They have to fake it. They have to act it. They have to live it as if it's true. And I'm telling you this, to some extent, it might be true. Maybe they're not scripted. Maybe what happens is the people that are pulling their strings tell these people in the intelligence divisions of our government, they say, hey, we got to do something about this alien shit, find out what it is, because I don't think it's anything. And then they say, it isn't anything. And then what do you mean? There's nothing going on. We looked into it. We thought you wanted us to do this. I don't want you to do this. Pull the funding on everything. Let's get the hell out of here. And that's what happens. Then they pull the funding. And then they're like, hey, Arrow, we don't give a about you anymore. We gave you enough to get you, keep you above water. I don't know if we're going to continue this operation any longer. And they leave. These are the conversations that nobody's privy to, that happen behind the scenes because some jerk off got butthurt about something somebody said. It's that silly. And I hope, who is it? Sean Kirkpatrick? Isn't he the one that's running the Arrow? I don't know about this guy yet. But let's do a little roll call, and then we'll jump right back. Jeanette, look at you starting the show off with the fancy 10-pound, 10-quid Super Dono. That's nice. Very yellow. We like the juice. Is it yellow? Hey. Jeanette Angel throwing down a Super Dono. A 10-pound, 10. All over the beginning of the show. Yeah, that's it. Thanks, Jeanette. And a big mucho gusto generoso to you, madam. Madam, and welcome to the show. Hey, Don Mofo throwing down a $1 Super Dono. Mucho gusto generoso. Don Mofo doing it again. A continuing supporter of Goof On. Just a bit short of being the first one. Could have done something with that. Tomorrow. No, don't, please don't. Welcome to the show. Zach Diecast Monsu. Welcome to the show. Rebecca the Wild One. See the eyes? Welcome to the show. Hey, Mr. Bridges, how you doing? William Bridges. Baba. No, I don't know. I don't want to be disrespectful. Mr. Bridges, thank you very much for hanging out. Josie_UK. I'm vetoing saying the underscore. So now you're Josie UK. Josie UK, how you doing that? Welcome to the show. Den Bob's here. What do you say there, Chief? Welcome to the show. Don't say Chief. There's some... What do they call them now? You don't know? Indians? How dare you? Whatever. Den Bub, welcome to the show. Tony Octopus, how you doing, Chief? Oh, strike 2. Actually, it's 3. I said one earlier tonight. What? I can't say Chief anymore? I'm saying it in the right context. Right? All right. I thought so. Welcome to the show, Tony. Moonlicht, how you doing? You've been on a good roll lately with your Twitter comments and very funny. I might show one later. I don't know. I always forget. I forget a lot. It's just so much. And I don't want to extend the show because enough's enough already, right? You want them, you want to leave them wanting more, is what they say. Hi, Samantha Morris, the kitty cat. Welcome to the show. I'm sorry. Samantha Morris, the cat. I'm not a kitty. Mike Johnson, you know that voice you hear? That's Scambian in my head. That's what that is. I'm living inside your head, Rich. No, you're not. Leave me alone. Scambians in your head. Even if you're gonna be dead. Shut it. Leave me alone. Don't go to sleep. Leave me alone. I'll be in your head before you wake up. Stop it. CK's in the house. He's like, or she's like. Right? I don't know. I just assumed. Look at me correcting myself in the middle of the intro. Good for me. Welcome to the show, CK. No matter how you identify. Look at me using the verbiage. I hate it. Brookers, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Intergalactic Overhaul, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Diane Boss. I don't think I said your name, but if I did, say it again. Welcome to the show. Sky Allen, welcome to the show. Let's get started. If I didn't say your name, doesn't mean I don't love you. Tim Freestone, you just snuck it in there. Welcome, Michelle, O'Shell, Holy Cow, Bob Berkins, and Michelle snuck in as well. Welcome to the show. All right. As I was saying, Tinkamasi. If I didn't say your name, doesn't mean I don't love you. David Wilcox. It means, got a show to do. Larky Derry. Hey, how you doing, Larky? Larky, Darky, Derry, Berry, Jerry, Gary, Henninger. All right. Yeah, I had fun doing the intro tonight. I don't care if I sound, look, or even felt stupid. It was great. I need a drink, got a little bit of cotton mouth. I can't talk like that. But it's going to be a good one. UFO Jesus makes me laugh. Nothing against him, as I say every show, every time I talk about him. Pretty much. Here, I'm not getting on him for anything. But this James Fox stuff it's fascinating to me. So I try to put myself in James Fox's position. First of hold on a second. Why don't you just watch this first? That'll be easier. And then maybe we'll discuss it like people do. Didn't play yet? All right.
That it's just people and it's just stories and it's just work.
Okay. Go to 3:45, I told myself. Here we go.
Had to say about 2023.
I think that 2023, like no BS, like
this
I
is
kind of hate it
Christopher
when people
King.
talk like this, but I really think that this is going to be the biggest paradigm shift year since 2017 for this field.
Well, this is what I have to say to you, 2023. Some people think you're sentient.
Here we go. Every year. And that's Christopher King. James Fox says it. Taylor Travis says it. I thought last year they said it too, though. The year before that. Right? This is... Elizondo said, we've already had disclosure. Funny, I don't remember seeing any evidence. They're trying hard to change the way we think. He says, this is Christopher King. And you're like, who's Christopher King? Really want to know? Here, let's do this. I know who he is. I don't know his details, but I know he's in ufology. Hold on. No. Some people don't know who Christopher King is. And you need to know. Why would we even care about what Christopher King is saying? Why? Well, he has books, I think, right? Aliens and UFOs, Solving Mysteries with Science. Isn't that his book? Yeah, with Lori Elizabeth Heil and Christopher King. No, that's not him. Oh, I thought it was him. Huh. Well, maybe I'm wrong. No, I'm right. It's also at the bookshop, too. And, yeah, J. Christopher King in that UFO podcast. He's a very well-educated UFO guy. That's all I know. Really. That's all I know. Every time I see him, he says the right things, except with the, he always has to add a little flavor. That's why I thought this was interesting. He hasn't been in the limelight. He keeps to himself. He does a very good job of that. But everybody knows who he is pretty much. But Christopher King thinks this year is going to be bigger than the 2017, since 2017. The interest in UFOs. Please, save ufology. Our community it's really non-existent. It's, everybody, like Lou Elizondo said, he wants to rip it down. I don't think he had this intention, but or I don't think he thought it would work, is I don't even think it has anything to do with Lou Elizondo, maybe 50% of it, which is a lot, that this community can't get along. Right? I mean, some of us try. There's cliques. You've got 15 over here. You've got the 15 over there. You've got the 18 over here, and so on and so forth. Right? You have the people who, the cancel you guys, cancel culture groups. They're over here. Then you have the people that are like us, but they believe that disclosure is happening. They've been in it for 5 years. People like Jimmy Church, Christina Gomez, and who else? Who's on that side? I can't think of anybody else. Why? Travis Taylor, all those normal guys. Right. And then you have the group of people that they're totally full of shit. David Wilcock. Right? Isn't it? Now I'm confusing myself. David Wilcock, Corey Good, and others that have been known to everybody in this field has dirt on them, right? Except for us. Right? Everybody? Well, what about the people that are on the dark side of this field? You know who they are, right? What are they doing for ufology? You've got S4, who keeps putting out and talking hoax after hoax after hoax. That guy's just hoping to get a viral sponsor that'll pay for everything. He's going to keep doing that, and that's killing ufology. You got Scambian, who gets a lot of his details wrong, or gets no details at all to make up his own narrative. And then you got Asshole Face. You got others that have come around that aren't our enemies anymore, that have kind of now kept to themselves. Like, I feel like we're almost on an island, but we have just a few people that are still hanging on. We know Third Phase of Moon is, of course, huge. And, Michael, Dark Hour, Dr. J, of course, Apollo, and so on and so forth. You know who all those people are, but we don't. Third Phase of Moon is the only thing we have closest to mainstream media. Now, I consider them officially mainstream media players in the game, with their last 3 documentaries with Greer breaking all sorts of records on iTunes and Amazon Prime. So, and the weird thing is, and it's not weird, but you think it's weird, not you guys here, but people who don't like them think it's weird that they're still getting a lot of production out of the first 2 movies that came out 2 years ago, and one last year, and then, the one recently, March 14th, Endgame to Disclosure. UFO Endgame to Disclosure, right. And the reason those videos do real well, it's because they're made well, number one. Number two, they're very informative to the right here and now of ufology. And a lot of people get it because they collect UFO stuff too. And it's something they need to have in their collection. I think the last one here of the trilogy is fantastic. I love that movie, as you know. But nonetheless, we're not getting along. The best times that we had were during the lockdowns, when Third Phase of Moon reached out to me, and then then Doc Skinner, Doc Skinner, 1028 Productions, and Michael and Dr. J, and we started doing all those mini documentaries. And Third Phase of Moon started to incorporate some outsiders into the mix to expand the community. And then alien scientists and Scambian were asked to help make a video, help build, make a small documentary with something they want to put in a video, and never did it. Didn't even call Third Phase to tell them I'm not going to do it. Oh, yeah, everything's good. Yeah, Deadline came and went, and they didn't do it. And then Scambian just turned. An alien scientist was made to look very bad because he still owes Third Phase of Moon $500 for the bet he made. Oh, I wasn't being serious. Oh, it was serious when Third Phase of Moon put $10,000 out, and nobody could debunk that for a month. But anyway, that's where we're at, and there isn't, like, if half of us even got together. See, our group that's on our island was double the size a year and a few months ago, as was their side. They're the ones that created the divide. Scambian. He created all this. And I know Alien Addict had a big play in that. Mr. Passive Aggressive. Yeah, I heard he put something up today that was supposed to make me mad. Didn't even bother to look. I said I was going to go take a look at it to see what. I don't even care. Don't even know what it is. Anyway, he is always going to be a user. Hey, if all I was about was money and everything, don't you think I would have the store up? I would have all these things you guys could buy. I'd nickel and dime you to death with, 30 freaking advertisements on the 2-hour show. Hey, I would even go 3 hours, and make those ads, give myself an extra $50 a month. I'm not them. And they keep thinking I'm like them, and I'm nothing like them. And I have nothing against people doing that, selling shit, as long as you're a legitimate player in the field. Somebody who just comes in and then gets monetized after 6 months on YouTube, puts up a store, and now all of a sudden, they're the player in 6 months to a year. You got to know some things. You have to have experience in this field. But you know what? People like people that they can get along with and agree with, I guess. I don't know how. Yeah, I do know how. I know what the problem is. There is no problem. There's no problem. That's my mistake. I keep thinking there's a problem, but there really isn't. This is supposed to be happening. And you want to know why? Because when we come out on top, now I'm not saying on top, I think number one, when we come out 6 months from now, a year from now, and we're still here doing this, that speaks volumes when you see them fall off to the wayside, or they don't do it as much because, they just are bored or they don't have the drive. No, it's because they're not here for the greater good. And I'm not saying you got to do 7 shows a week to prove you're here for the greater good. I'm not even saying you got to do 3 shows a week. I'm just saying you got to be relevant. You need to have experience that can back up what you're saying, right? I know how things are faked. I know how things are accidentally misidentified because I made all those mistakes early on. But I didn't use it to my advantage and say, oh, that looks like a UFO. Nobody will know. No, you know what? Somebody will know, because the truth always comes to the top. It always does. And that was the vow That was the agreement I had with myself and with my fans and people who listen. I will always tell the truth, even when I lie. So, hey, heads I win, tails you lose. Come on. It's very frustrating to just see people get accolades for things they have no idea what they're doing. It's frustrating. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I don't care though. It's all politics. It's not what you know in this field anymore. It's who you blow. Now, of course, you knew that was coming. I mean, I would suck as a host if I didn't show that to you. Hey, all things good. You know, I thought I saw that when I was ranting. Thank you very much for the £2, £2 super dono. All things good. All things good. Right. Gotcha. I emailed you back. Yes. Thank you, by the way, for the super dono and the continuing support. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hey, Bob Birkins here. How you doing, man? How you doing? Yeah? All right. Mike Johnson's here. Good. Yeah. Yep. There he is. How you doing, Mike? I think I saw you earlier. Didn't I say it? Billy Nice. How you doing? I thought I saw the World Revolution. Hello to all my fellow people around the world, and call me whatever floats your boat fine with me. Oh, your World Revolution. Welcome to Goof On. Hope you hang out. Sapphire Elf, how you doing? Good to see you. I'm a little rustic. Hey man, how you been? Yeah, principles before personal. Too much shade. Talking about others, not enough UFO paranormal content. No, well, that too much blanket hate or blanket loyalty. That is precisely right. That is amazing. That is exactly right. I'm to blame. You know, when I started the show, the climate was totally different. I thought my style was needed, and at the time it was. It ran its course. And since then, I've been trying to find a way to still be me without being mean. And it's taken forever. It's, you know, everything's very sensitive nowadays, but I'm not being mean. I'm being frustrated. I'm extremely frustrated with the things that people are saying and doing. And just because you say something doesn't make it real, you know? And that's what's frustrating about Christopher Bledsoe and Anjali. She's just awful at her job. He's a lot better at it, but she's just terrible. And I can see right through it. We all do. We've seen her for who she is. We've seen the temper tantrums. Christopher Bledsoe, not so much. Although I don't play any videos of him. I just, you know, he's not hurting anybody. So I'll just talk about it. Anjali's hurting people. I think so. Yeah, I don't know. They're the same bullshit, but there's something different about what she's doing than what he's doing. She's trying to pull people inward like a cult. He's just telling his story. Yeah, I think that's what it is. William Bridges, $20, a bushel of balls for us to eat. Oh, yeah, Ma's a little under the weather. Ma! RSVP! Bridges balls! Bridges! I know. He's here? I said, I know. Now, for those of you who don't know, my ma doesn't live with me. But if she did, that's how a conversation would ensue. Thank you, Mr. Bridges, for the $20 for the bushel of balls, because meat's expensive now. It's $10 a pound almost. Hey, Vatsky. Thanks, man. Continuing supporter, huge supporter of the show. Thank you. I have to say that. All right. Because it's true. All right. Yes, Lisa Bowden. Lisa Bowden. $5. She says, he seems really earnest. Yes. Oh, post-disclosure does. He does. If that you're meaning UFO Jesus here, I guess. He's really earnest. I thought you were talking about Bledsoe. Because he does seem earnest. That's why I don't really pick on UFO Jesus anymore. If you're wondering. He's trying the best he can with what he's got. I just wish he would clean the microphone. And he flip-flops, though, more than anybody. He doesn't know what to believe. He doesn't know what to say, it seems. When he does these types of videos, they're a little bit better, edited and scripted. But when he's just off the cuff, watch it. All right. There's one more thing I wanted to play here. It was where James Fox does this right here. All right. So it's coming up. This is good. Thank you, Lisa, very much for your continuing support. Oh, and another one? Hold on, guys. Hold on. This is just a thank you for saying my name right. Did I? I know. Thank you, too. I appreciate you. See? See? Thank you. Okay. I see, said the blind man.
If you want to check it all out, but we're going to go real deep into this component of the interview. So basically, you're getting a very large enchilada, and I hope you have quite the appetite for it.
I just got back from Washington, D.C. I spent the last 5 weeks there filming for a new project. I had my my focus on Moment of Contact, which is an alleged UFO crash in Varginha, Brazil, for the last 17, 18 months. And so I really hadn't been paying close attention to all the developments that have happened since the front page of the New York Times revealed that secret Pentagon UFO program. However, as I just stated, I just spent the last 5 weeks. I just got back 10 days ago from Washington, D.C., and I got an insider's perspective on what's happening right now, today, as we speak. And
yesterday,
it's quite, I felt like I just got back from watching a sci-fi thriller or something,
So he didn't say anything.
Everyone's like, oh, how was your trip to D.C.? It's like, well, do you really want to know?
I want to know more than I want air.
Yeah, no doubt. He says this. He says, I got an insider's perspective today, which was yesterday. And says it felt like he just got back from watching a sci-fi thriller. That's it. He didn't answer the question. Yeah, it just felt like I got back from watching a sci-fi movie. What? What does that even mean? That could mean anything. What do you mean? It was like the 60s? It was cheesy? Or was it like, Mandalorian-ish? Where are we going with that comment? That's a blanket statement. That's what they do. So why is James Fox so enamored by what he saw and who he spoke with and what he heard? Because this guy makes documentaries about UFO movies, about UFOs and turns them into movies. Man, I can't talk at all. I talk about them talking. I can't speak. That's a shame. I'm losing it. It's almost over.
And I want air a lot.
And I met with intelligence folks that had just met with Kirkpatrick and met with Senate Intel and they couldn't share every single detail because it was classified, but they did with them, sort of as a precautionary measure that if their testimony went in to Arrow and never came out, they could have a backup plan going public and saying, look, I gave testimony to the Senate Intel, I gave testimony to, and what they're basically saying is that these programs exist, these reverse engineered programs exist. And again, this is what they shared with me was
are they currently employed? The intelligence folks that were speaking?
Some of them were, yes. Okay. And some of them were retired, but no, a lot of them were still employed.
Wow.
Don't take it from me. And I had this on camera just recently. Don't take it from me. Don't take my testimony, but I'm here to tell you, this is the name of the program. This is the location of the program. These are the names of the individuals involved with the programs. And if you give me the credentials or the security clearance, I'll walk you into the labs. And that's happening right now.
So he met with folks that are in the intelligence agency, I guess, somehow or another. He said he saw their credentials, that, they are intelligence in the intelligence division. They met with Sean Kirkpatrick of Arrow. I mean, this guy is in. But I have a feeling, it would be too perfect. It would be like a movie if what these people were saying around James Fox was scripted stuff for him to hear. You know what I mean? Like, okay, everybody getting it's like the Truman Show, but, they're just doing it in this office as he's there making his visit. I know that's not happening. So what does that mean? If they're not doing the Truman Show on James Fox, and he's really hearing that people can get clearance to go look at evidence, and that's happening this year, now, as we speak, he said. People are talking about doing it now. But if they're talking about it so freely around a civilian like James Fox, I know, he's proven his worth, that he can keep his mouth closed. Obviously, he wasn't told to keep his mouth closed. You see what I mean? It's like saying all of that stuff when he was next to people inside, where was he? The Capitol? Well, wherever he was, he met with men who had credentials. Folks, everybody's talking about this year being the year for some sort of I can't say it, closure. But you can't have a little disclosure. You can't be a little pregnant, remember? It's the same thing. Once that cork is uncapped and it's over. It's a land rush of bubbles and carbonation. It's terrible. Why would James Fox be privy to something so secretive sounding? Like, I don't know if he should be talking about that stuff. Well, I can get clearance to go see some bodies and some evidence, and anytime we want, you let me know. Huh? Let's go right now. That's the answer. Let's go now. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? Let's knock this block off. No, I want to fight this guy. Yeah, kid, you ain't been hungry since you won the title. What do you mean? I've been hungry every fight. And it was handpicked. What do you mean it was fixed? No, not like Corbell.
What is that supposed to mean? You mean all those UFO videos are fake?
You didn't hear it from me, kid. But yeah, it's a psyop.
Yo, I want to beat somebody up today. Yo.
What if Rocky was in ufology, right? Sylvester Stallone in ufology? There you go.
Hey, yo, where's Lou Elizondo?
I'm right here.
Hey, yo, we're about the same height. I'm 5'2", you're 5'2".
I'm not tall either. I'm barely 5'9" if I stand up straight. So you're 5'8.5"? No, I'm 5'9" if I stand up straight. That would be so great if Elizondo and Stallone met, and they both worked at Arrow.
Hey, yo, when we gonna have our first meeting?
We don't have meetings.
What do you mean no meetings? I'm here to learn about UFOs.
Why are you here, Rock?
Yo, they say in case the aliens come down, I gotta teach people how to defend themselves, so I don't know, I'm gonna talk first, you know what I mean? So this way they understand me.
That's what I'm here for.
Whoa, hey, yo, I don't want to step on nobody's toes or nothing.
No. You don't understand. I run this place.
Oh, wait.
I'm so stupid. Oh, yeah. Bigfoot saw me, but nobody believes him.
You mean to tell me that they got aliens locked up in the bottom of the Pentagon?
Shh! Talk so loud all the time.
What do you mean? I'm whispering right now.
That's how Rocky whispers.
Hey, yo, Paulie!
Stop yelling. I'm not
Yelling, that's how I talk. I'm from Philly.
All right, let's get This is why the show should be longer, right? Because I do so much stupid stuff. What's that? Oh, Johnny D. I pity the fool. Clubber Lang, Rocky 3. Do you remember when I used to do at the end of the shows, I would do the reenactment of the whole Rocky movies? Rockies 1, 2, and 3 I did, yeah. I think I did 4, but I just think I started from the training. That's when all the movies start, really, when he starts training for the fight. And then, the last 30 minutes, that's all you need to watch. And every time in every Rocky movie, you can't win. And then she comes back and she says, you can do it. And then during the fight, she says, stop the fight. And then at the end of the fight, you can do it. It's like, I never met somebody who's so polarized on whether her husband can win or lose. She was the worst of the worst. Adrian should have, I don't know, he should have divorced her. Right? I mean, can you imagine hearing that? You're sitting down, you're fighting for your life, and you see you look up and your wife, Adrian, she's out there and she's like, stay the fuck down. Stay down. Stay down. And Mick's over there, God, stay down, kid.
Why does everybody want me to stay down? Me no understand. I don't know it. I don't know.
Thanks, Johnny D. Ugh. Remember when they wanted to interview him for the first time? And Mr. T got all mad. Don't give a man a statue. Give him guts. Hey, woman. Hey, woman. How'd you like to meet a real man? Why don't you come over to my apartment tonight and I'll show you a real man is.
You wanted to fight, is it?
Retire? He's a paper champion. I liked when he fought in Rocky 3, when he fought Clubber Lang, you schmuckhole. We'll talk about this later. Thunderlips, the Hulk. Thanks, Johnny D, again. Yeah, remember when he fought him for charity in Rocky 3? A lot of people here should know this movie by heart. just like me. I don't understand what the problem is. All right, let's finish up with the Foxhole here. This is good right here. Let me pull this up at 6-minute mark. It tells me. Oh, that was the one we just did. 7-minute mark now. Here we go. I think I was just setting this up. Yep.
Are they currently employed? The intelligence folks that were speaking?
Some of them were, yes.
Right.
And some of them were retired. But no, a lot of them were still employed.
Oh, I played this.
Wow.
Don't take it from me, and I have this on camera.
It's all right.
Just recently. Don't take it from me. Don't take my testimony. But I'm here to tell you, this is the name of the program. This is the location of the program. These are the names of the individuals involved with the programs. And if you give me the credentials or the security clearance, I'll walk you into the labs. And that's happening right now in Washington, D.C. And I've seen the photographs, these guys' credentials, not one, not two, not three, but over more than three. And they're telling me about their friends that are also testifying. So there's a lot going on.
This definitely merits breaking what he said down to some degree. What James Fox was saying is that intelligence officers from intelligence agencies were giving the head of Aero, Sean Kirkpatrick, and the Senate Intelligence Committee testimony about programs responsible for back engineering UAP technology. James Fox said that they gave them all the details because the Senate Intel and Kirkpatrick have the requisite clearances to be able to lawfully receive those data points. And what was interesting that James said is these people that are giving testimony to the Senate Intelligence Committee and to Sean Kirkpatrick, they're not saying take my word for it. And in fact, this is misinformation that seems to be spreading on UFO Twitter to some degree, that it's just people and it's just stories and it's just words. Well, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. It's not just stories. It's not just words. According to James Fox, and he was just in Washington, D.C., he was interviewing people that communicated with Sean Kirkpatrick, interviewing people that communicated with the Senate Intel Congressional Committee, that what these witnesses were saying to them is, we'll give you the name of the program, where it's located, the individuals involved in those programs. Oh, and by the way, if you give us the necessary security clearance, we'll walk you through the labs where these back engineering UAP programs exist. So when people say that what's happening now is not going to lead to anything falsifiable, they don't know what they're talking about.
No, you don't know what you're talking about. If that was being spoken in the company of James Fox and he heard this conversation, it's meaningless in the grand scheme of it all. How can you say that? I'm telling you, this has happened many times, and you wind up with somebody like Richard Doty now. Eligondo will be that spit out Doty in 10 years. This is just par for the course. Just because James Fox overheard intelligence officers talking about this doesn't mean anything. Now, if I was on the other end of that and I really wanted to believe it, because this is my first time ever being involved, like UFO Jesus, this is his first time ever being around anything like this. This is probably like our 8th or 9th time. We've been had before, been duped before. So when I hear people making those kind of claims, already I'm backed up. Backing up. I'm backed up. Hey, that's true too. It's not. Maybe it is. I don't know. Just a little. All right, it isn't. Just because I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm just saying UFO Jesus gets real excited because James Fox heard. Do you know what that's called? Hearsay. He heard all of that exactly as you heard it. He repeated it exactly the same way in the context it was given. Are you sure? Makes you wonder. People, I'm not saying James Fox is, embellishing a story, but he is a movie maker, and an exciting story would just bolster his career. This is good because it shows you the level that they're willing to go to see disclosure at the finish line. Just because he heard that somebody can give somebody clearance to go see alien evidence? Since when is it that easy? You got to be shitting me. If they're going to do that, they vet the guy, they vet the family, the friends, the neighbors, the relatives. They will probably listen to your phone calls. No, don't do it. No, it's not so simple, my furry little friend. But I like your enthusiasm. I'd like to hear the rest of this.
The question is whether Kirkpatrick is going to, who's he going to share it with?
So that is the big question.
Whose voice was that? Was that James Fox? Hold on. 9:57.
For me, don't take my testimony.
You hear that? Now let's go to 9:57 where he spoke.
Public going to learn in the aftermath of this.
What did I miss? Did I screw up again?
I honestly don't know. What I can say is that Chris Mellon has spoken about a specific...
The question is whether Kirkpatrick...
That's not his voice.
...is going to... Who's he going to share it with?
So that is the big question. What are we, the public, going to learn in the aftermath of this? And I honestly don't know. What I can say is that Chris Mellon has spoken about a specific declassification procedure that the Congress can utilize.
All right. I'll put the link to that video in the show description immediately following the show. Last night, I did it right after the show, and it didn't go through for like 14 hours. All the links and everything. I was like, the video's up. It's in HD. That's happened now twice in the last month. Just weird. So if you don't see the links, it's not necessarily my fault. Hey, it is the top of the hour. Into Thin Air does have another video for us to watch. So it is that time for us to take a listen to and a watch to Into Thin Air. Boom, boom, boom.
All right, my friends, April 4th, 2023, and this one's hitting a little closer to home. We just had a 6.6 downgraded from nearly a 7.0 earthquake in Panama. As of right now, they're setting this thing at 10 kilometers in depth. That is super shallow, so we know there's going to be many, many people that felt this on the ground. This is a very large earthquake for this part of the world, and one of the bigger ones we've seen here in a long time. As we zoom into the area, we can see it's just off that southern coast of Panama, that southeastern coast of Costa Rica, right in the water here. Now, this could be offshore enough to where it's not going to affect too many people, but nonetheless, a very large earthquake and a very shallow earthquake. And for something that happened just moments ago with over 116 user reports right now, that is pretty significant. A lot of people felt this earthquake, and keep in mind this was off the coast of Panama. So just imagine this thing being a little closer to land and we'd be dealing with some damage for sure. In fact, we could see some damage from this quake as is. This is definitely being considered a breaking news situation, as a lot of these outlets you're seeing right here are waiting for updates on casualties and or damage. That's how significant significant of an earthquake this actually was, because there's a lot of population in this part of Panama. We are getting readings anywhere from a 7.1 to that 6.6 downgrade, which we see all the time. But the fact that an earthquake of this size has just struck this area is very significant. It's very close to home. All we got to do is jump about 75 miles inward and we're basically in the Caribbean Ocean, and if big enough, could cause a wave. Thank God this one didn't, but it's just a strong reminder that at any given moment we could have something so close to home where we're used to seeing these big earthquakes in other parts of the world, and now seeing this one pop up right here after a long week of large earthquakes, it is not something to take lightly. In fact, I want to jump right in here and see what kind of population we're looking at in this part of Panama off the coast. We can see right here was the epicenter of the earthquake, but as we move up, you can see this place is littered with population. A lot of people live on the coastlines of southern Panama. So to see the fact that we've already had 116 reports is no surprise. That's probably going to rise up into the higher hundreds, possibly even thousands of people feeling this quake. And once new information comes in, I will not be surprised if this quake was felt all the way in areas of Jamaica, maybe even Cuba, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico even. We got some of those bands extending out into even Florida, especially with how shallow this quake was. A default depth of 10 kilometers, which means they know it's shallow. They just don't know how quite shallow it was yet. In fact, we've had one adjustment here on the USGS. They are now saying it's 13 kilometers in depth. That's probably going to be their set depth for this event. That means we are looking at about a 7 to 8 mile in-depth earthquake. Also, keep in mind, just over the last day and a half, remember this one up here in Russia we talked about 1 day and 20 hours ago. We had the Philippines region getting hit with that 6.2 about 10 hours ago, and then way over here by one of the biggest tsunamis we ever had in the history of mankind. 1 day and 8 hours ago, a 6.4 taking place. So now we are dealing with an earthquake on the eastern Pacific Ocean.
Oh. Dang it. Well, I mean, if you want to watch the rest of the video, I'll put the link to that in the show description. There's like 2.5 minutes left. I might as well just play it. It clicked off. I accidentally clicked it off. Here we go. All right, we'll finish this up. 2 minutes.
And this is rare is because most of the large earthquakes we see are the ones that come down by Argentina and Chile, those very, very large earthquakes. In fact, one of the largest earthquakes we ever saw took place in Chile. It was about a 9.1, 9.2. This was a long time ago, but just to give you a reference of how strong this fault line is that runs down the west side of South America and absolutely connects to that fault line that comes up through Panama and Nicaragua, and then that west side of Mexico all the way up through the Baja region, and then the San Andreas fault line, and you could just keep going and going and going all the way through Alaska. Once again, these are just preliminary reports. Again, this was downgraded from a 7.1, so I'm assuming this was larger than a 6.3. You always have to go up a little bit higher than what they adjust them to, and that's just been my experience with reading these user reports and what people felt. It's usually a lot larger than what they say it is. I'm sure you will be hearing a lot about this earthquake in the coming hours, and once again, until we get more information, my friends, that's what I got for you. I want to get this information out as soon as possible, but this earthquake is one of the bigger ones we've seen, at least close to home when it comes to the United States. And again, we're talking about 75 miles of land before we would reach into the Atlantic Ocean as opposed to the Pacific Ocean. So that alone should show some concern about what we're seeing as far as the uptick in seismic activity, not just on the west coast of the Pacific, but now showing signs on the east coast of the Pacific. All right, everybody, I will keep you posted on this situation as time goes on. Please leave comments down below if you hear any other updated news about this situation. I'll be updating on Twitter and or jump back on here for another video if we talk about any sort of damage or loss of life, which I hope we do not have to speak about. All right, my friends, I appreciate each and every one of you. Shout out to Canada. I'll keep you posted, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.
Into thin air, throwing down a real good one. Lots of interesting activity going on around the Gulf Coast. You know, there's this huge record-breaking algae that is heading towards the Florida coast. I don't know if it's reached it yet, but it's not going to come up to where I live. But this algae is, it's really doing a number on the landscape, and it's just showing up on all the beaches. What is it? Like an algae seaweed type of thing? It's enormous, like 5,000 miles long, right? I don't know, but it's crazy. But thanks to Into Thin Air, I'll put the link to that video in the show description right after the show as well. Appreciado. And Nathan from the Quantum Show, thank you for the $2.34 PayPal support and the comment that he was loving the show. So I appreciate that, as this show does feel like it's a little better than some of the others, but I don't know. I can't tell on my end. But thank you, Nathan, for the love and the support. Mucho gusto, generoso. You were the last two PayPal people, two PayPalers. All right, so moving along. Just to finish up the James Fox subject matter. I think I'm right. Like, why would they talk about this stuff around a civilian? I don't think they really care, because they don't know what they're doing. Ufology isn't anything that any of these people are working on other than James Fox. And if they are working on anything in the UFO realm or UAP realm, and if any of these people that they're going to work with, Sean Kirkpatrick and the others, I don't know if any of these people are real sky watchers. I know that they're not. Why don't they ever get or call somebody like me to work on inside of one of these programs? I would be such an asset. I mean, you think we fart around here and make some jokes? Yeah, fine. But when it comes down to it, I'm a freaking serious hard worker when it comes to doing what is asked of you. And if they ask me to do anything, of course it would get done, because that's how much I'm in it. But they gotta pay me for that. I'll sign the NDA if they want to pay. Pay, and I'll sign the NDA. Pay, sign NDA. Pay, sign. Pay, pay, pay. I want to be paid. I'm too old for this shh. You're crazy. All right, let me do this. Here's a reminder. I think we lose people when I play this, but that's okay. I don't care anymore. I played this a week ago, and it's a 1 week. I got to play this once a week. I got to play this clip. It's Wednesday. This is the Wednesday clip.
A quick montage of some right-of-center media figures and podcasters sharing their criticisms.
He was just being mean.
Well, I was going to say, like, what he is saying is actually genuinely, like, really mean. Parts of the whole thing is true. Like, it's not like it's untrue.
I will absolutely say, yeah, it's mean. Yeah, Matt Walsh is being mean.
Major divide on this video is whether or not the language was a little too harsh.
Factually, he's not wrong.
No.
Factually.
Yeah. I don't look. If your job is to win hearts and minds, I don't think this is the best way of doing it.
You'll notice the connecting thread. They all agree that I'm right, that what I said is factually correct. But they think that it goes too far by saying it out loud. Well, see, this is where we differ. I don't think it's possible to go too far by speaking truth. The truth is the truth. It is what it is. Are we going to defend it, or are we going to conceal it? Are we going to embrace it? Or are we going to hide from it? You can't have it both ways.
Just a little reminder what we're here for. And no matter what obstacles come our way, we will do everything we can in our power to bring the truth to you, however it be fit. But I feel it is my responsibility at this juncture in my life to be the one that that will do that more and more and get better and better at it. And for those of you who are here, have been here, or have been here a very long time, I think you're ready for a change or something new, and that's going to happen. It's not so, I know I've been talking a lot, but I got sick last month. I got to cut me a break. I'm still sick today. I just not talking about it anymore, but I didn't even know if I was going to do the show tonight. It's bad, but I'm still working out, and I don't have COVID. I checked again 3 times in 5 days. So I think it's allergies. I think that's what's going on. I have allergies really bad, and I think it feels like I'm sick when I'm not, because I don't feel sick. It's just I'm tired. Yeah. Anyway, I just, I want to let you know that for those of you who just got here, you got here right at the right time. It has taken 19 years, 17 years doing these shows. I've done 1,000 on this channel. I think I've done total 2,000 total shows over the course of doing podcasts. So I'm going to go over that. I think it might be closer to 1,700, 1,800, but we're creeping up around that 2,000 show mark. That's a lot. And we do now, like last year, just to give you an example, 335 shows we did last year. 335 out of 365 days a year, 56. How many days are in a year? 365. So we did 20 less than that. 55 for 345 shows. The year before that was when we changed from going 3 nights a week to 7. And for a while there was a run, 2 months straight, didn't miss a day. Then I missed a day here, 2 days there. Yeah, every 3 months it looked like something happened. And then I'd have to take a day here and a day there. But the reason I wanted to go every day was to challenge myself, number one. And number two, to make sure we don't miss anything. Because I felt like even when I go to bed, I seem to miss something. And I think being on the front lines, meeting Third Phase, learning a lot from them, and how to broadcast properly, how to speak, how to set up the camera, how to actually shoot stuff. Not this, I'm talking about other stuff on the outside. Those guys have taught me and Michael and anybody else, Doc Skinner, how to edit. They would make a video, show us how to do it. Since we're all by ourselves, me and Michael, we don't have people to help us. So Blake and Brent would send us a video, minute or 2 minute, whatever it took to show us how to do it on our own. It's pretty cool. I mean, I can't afford those lessons if I wanted to learn from somebody. You know what I mean? I mean, it's amazing what they've done for me personally. And that says a lot, because you know what the last year's been like, and they stayed with me through it all, even though that I was probably the main reason for them getting a lot of the blowback. But we're still friends. We just talked the other day. I need to talk to them. I keep falling asleep, but I need to sleep. And then I'd wake up, right? And I saw that they tried calling me. So I'll text them back and say, hey, give me a minute, because I fell asleep and I woke up and like 4 hours later and I saw they called. I'm like, oh, it's only 9:30 where they're at and 3:30 here. It's 6 hour difference. So I texted them and said, give me a few minutes, fell back to sleep for another 5 hours. And I missed Amy's show and I wanted to watch Amy's show. So I missed everything. All right. Back to work. Let's get back to work. Jeremy Corbell. Yes. Get over it. I got to talk about him. This is funny. It's very important. We do not forget who Jeremy Corbell is. I'm telling you, you're going to thank me. He says this is one of the trippiest things about UFO reports. Something that Bob Lazar was explaining in '89. It's often the case that UFOs have extreme high energy output that can often be seen on thermal imagery, yet not visible with the naked eye. This has been described as something caused by the gravitational warping effect utilized by the advanced vehicles. Just say the object, the UFO, you prick. It's one of the consistent effects reported by UFO witnesses. No, it's not. I've interviewed 100, 200 people here and an extra 100 people on the outside, maybe 200. Not one person's ever said that to me. Let me read that again. This is one of the trippiest things about this. Something that Bob Lazar explaining, and it's often the case UFOs have an extreme high energy output that can often be seen on thermal imagery. You're not able to see it with your naked eye. It's been described as something caused by the gravitational warping effect utilized by the advanced vehicles. It's one of the consistent effects reported by UFO witnesses. And if true, what did he say? He didn't say anything. The witness didn't say anything. What is he saying? I knew that was weird. It's often the case that UFOs have extreme high energy output that can often be seen on thermal imagery. You can't see it with the naked eye. This has been described as something caused by the gravitational warping effect utilized by the object. It's one of the consistent effects reported by UFO witnesses. What? That they don't see it with their naked eye, but they see it on camera? No, very rarely. You know who says that? You know who says that? People who don't understand that their camera's on autofocus and the object may have been in the vision and right in the center. Then all of a sudden, for some whatever reason, a cloud, a tree branch, a bird, a plane, something came and the autofocus was on by accident and it tried to focus on that and it took it off focus. Now it's invisible. No, Rich, you're getting it wrong again. Don't you know those videos where people are at night and they're recording what they think is something, but they can't see it? And then when they use their night vision, they can see it. They can see it. It's magic, I tell you. I've seen those videos. Not buying it. I think the objects are up there. They're just too far out of range at night to see them with your naked eye, and the night vision picks it up. End of story. No, you're wrong, Rich. Well, until further notice, I don't think so. I know all the tricks. I've accidentally come upon those tricks just by having a camera in my hand for 20,000 hours. You know what I mean? Those effects happen. I've accidentally left on the autofocus and watched an object disappear. Swear to God. And then I was like, wait, oh, that's how they think they're disappearing. And then I'd go look at the video where somebody said, oh, these objects are disappearing right on camera. It's the same effect. It looks exactly the same. I knew it. Why would everything else get blurry? Why doesn't just the object get blurry? You know what I mean? Why is the whole thing? It's so easy. Just by working, just by doing the job, you learn as you go along. What do I call it? Trial and error. Trial and error. All right, let's listen to Ding Dong Corbell.
So sometimes you get them on radar, and you don't see them, and other times you see them, but they're not on radar.
Now, if the craft is
sometimes you see them and other times you don't,
and look up, you actually cannot see the craft. The light bends around it. You're bending gravity bends light.
So we have these tools to tell us where to look. So we're not just out there kind of gazing around. All our sensors are pumped into our visor. And so as we look around, it shows us the object we have selected in the box, where to look, right on our visor, no matter where we look. So as we come to this merge, we have every, expectation of having a successful merge and seeing this object, right? And then, It wasn't there. We still see it on the FLIR, right? We still see the energy emitting from that area, but nothing visually.
So sometimes you get them on radar, and you don't see them, and other times you see them, but they're not on radar.
Now, if the craft is sitting in the air and you walk underneath it and look up, you actually cannot see the craft. The light.
Got it. Got it. Ding dong. Got it. Got it. I love that when they talk about that. It's the gravitational, Bob Lazar. They got to throw in Bob. It's just like the sun, we can't see the objects, but you can see some objects behind the sun because of gravitational wave. It bends light in space. It's a whole thing. Same thing happens with a UFO. You could be looking at it, but because of this gravitational wave, you're seeing, you're not. Okay, Johnny. Whatever you say there, Bob Proctor. What are we doing? Amazing UFO reports. We're doing them now. Yeah. What else are we talking about? The UFO community. I was talking about it at the beginning of the show. What's up, Lion? 39, how you doing tonight? Stuart, how you doing, bro? You know what you missed? A lot, actually. You can go back and listen. I do have that feature turned on. So in case you do miss, you can go back. But then you're in the older section of the chat. You know what I mean? It's a whole to-do. Just when I start the outro, just pause the show, let it run, then rewind it and watch what you missed right then and there. Don't wait for the show to end and do all that. Just rewind. Just say it. So I have a video I want to play. Okay. And former CIA officer Andrew Bustamante shares his own personal UFO sightings. This you gotta hear. He also lists the possible explanations of what others are seeing in the skies. Classified info that is not being shared, or we're developing new weapons all the time. I like that one. Strange lights in the sky. Is it a natural phenomena? I mean, this guy sounds like he's, got his head on straight. Former CIA officer. But I always like to hear what these lifetime military employees think. I just can't tonight.
Do you have any theories on what these are?
So I do, actually. I was mentioning to you, I actually just finished shooting on a new television show.
Liar.
And
no,
I
just
can't
kidding.
speak about many details, but the show was for a mainstream cable channel, and it was an investigation into the relationship between, potential government cover-ups, potential government secrets, and what is going on that could help describe or explain some of these phenomenon that people have been seeing, whether it's phenomenon in the sky or phenomenon on the ground or phenomenon that people experience physiologically, right? Is there a connection there? And when I get releases to talk about the show, I'm happy to share it all with you. But the point was, we got to actually investigate these questions. We got to look at data. We got to travel. We got to do some experiments to see if we could understand more about what is actually happening with UAP, UFO phenomenon, and how does it relate to the government, right? The U.S. government specifically. What I've landed on is a couple of things. So first, there is absolutely classified information that that's not being shared with us.
Mm-hmm.
And that sucks.
Wow. Did you guys know that? There's information that's not being shared with us. Really, Bustamante? Tell us more. You start off with that? I don't have a lot of confidence in you, Busta. See what else?
Because without that information, we don't have all the information. We can't make a sound conclusion for ourselves. So there's absolutely some element that's being controlled by the government. That doesn't mean that it's alien tech being controlled by the government. It just means that some bean counter somewhere has chosen these 15 reports to not be shared publicly. Who knows what they say?
Some bean
But for sure,
count?
there's some element where we're not being told all the facts the government has. On top of that, you've got real national security concerns. We are trying to develop new weapons all the time, new aircraft, new missile delivery systems, technology that we can't even fathom yet, right? Maybe there's hovercraft technology. Maybe there's, who knows, teleporting technology. There's actual national security secrets that should be protected, which is different than the information that doesn't need to be protected, but they're protecting it anyways. So, but between the government secrets that should be there and the government secrets that don't need to be there, there's a lot of empty holes in our understanding. So in my experience, I've seen strange lights in the sky. We've gone to some of the areas out there where people have reported UFO sightings, historic repeat UFO sightings. I've seen some very strange lights in the sky.
So he must have video evidence, yeah? This guy's got to have the best UFO video evidence in the history of UFO video evidence. The way he's talking, right?
I've seen triangle patterns. I've seen...
so have I.
Lights that jump from place to place.
So have I. Got it on video.
I've literally traveled, investigated, and seen these things. And I have no explanation for what they are.
He's going to show us, right? He's got the evidence.
But they're happening in the sky in certain places at high altitude.
Where are you seeing these at?
The Southwest primarily. If you're looking in the skies over Nevada.
When I close my eyes and listen to him, when he said the Southwest, that was a lie. Let me take that back. When he said Southwest, it was like he doesn't know if that's the truth. He just says it because that's where he's seeing it. But that doesn't mean it's true. Let me hear that again.
I've literally traveled, investigated, and seen these things. And I have no explanation for what they are. But they're happening in the sky in certain places at high altitude.
Where are you seeing these at?
The Southwest primarily. If you're looking in the skies over Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, that's a really concentrated area there at the Four Corners.
Oh, they're at the Four Corners. Does anybody know that? You guys know that? Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, and the other one, Nevada. Yeah, it's the Four Corners.
Utah. That's an area where there's a ton.
It's almost as if he memorized what to say before he got there. Because his acting, I hear somebody acting, I don't hear somebody who's genuine, and he's bad. Why? Why is he doing this? Is he drawing attention away from something? I haven't heard anything that would tell me he's having nefarious intentions as to what other people are claiming. Like, the Tic Tac stuff, because nobody's seeing the Tic Tac inland. But he's talking about the desert Southwest, which is where, a lot of sightings happen. It's always a hot zone. It's very easy to remember because Area 51 is over in the Four Corners region. It's probably just the way he remembered that. But now I know why that button was, oh, yeah. Oh, let them breathe. Let them...
ton of concentrated just strangeness, right? That's also an area that's rife with government experimentation.
I just said that. Never heard this guy.
That's where we have all of our experimental flight zones. That's where you have huge.
So if that's where we have all the experimental flight zones and areas, and it's a huge area where they do all this testing, of course it's primed for UFOs being reported. So what he's actually saying without actually saying is that these UFOs are ours. Man-made.
Areas of commercial air traffic that go through there. Plus, it's wide open, beautiful, clear sky. You can actually see satellites from Earth when you look up in an empty, dark sky.
He acts like that's never been done before. You can actually, with your own eyes, see satellites. Right, with your own eyes. With your own eyes!
It's incredible what you can see in a normal sky. Most people don't take the time to look up. Most people who do look up, they don't get that kind of a dark sky. They get a sky with a lot of...
Hey, yo, I think this guy's a little punchy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, me too, Sly, me too.
Hey, yo. Never mind, that is my name, you're right. Sly. I thought you was calling me Rocky before. You know what I mean?
Huh? Oh yeah, remember these? Shame. 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 Shame, shame, shame. You knuckleheads. All right, I'll put the link to that video in the show description as well. The rest of that, I'm sure it's fabuloso. All right, we'll talk about this for a second. Brandon, excuse me, I am so sorry. Ziegfugel was out on Twitter showing off again. But this time he means business, for real. I don't get this, man. Why an adult has to let everybody know in UFO world of his Twitter, of his successful stories. I don't understand. He says, tinfoil hats appeared on heads when I arrived last Friday to a development planning mortgage with friend and client, Michael. Why does everybody have to do that? My friend and mentor, my friend and mentor, my friend and client, my friend and enemy. Michael Brodsky of Brodsky Built. So hilarious and appropriate given the notoriety of my side project. You know, Skinwalker Ranch, Ziegfugel. I've had the privilege of working with Brodsky over the last 15 years. You know, me and Brodsky had a couple of brewskis together. Yeah. So we put on these hats. Yeah, not me because I'm like Steven Seagal. Yeah. Hey, talk about a bowl in a china shop. Ba-dum-bum-boo. That's my tinfoil hat, goddammit. I'll just do this because I got my hand in Brandon's pocket right now, but he's got his hand down the back of my pants. Good. Yeah, aren't they cute? Aren't they adorable? Brandon Fugel wants to show us he's still got millions of dollars to blow. And they wore tinfoil hats, they did. Only 2 of them did. All 4 of them didn't. When all 4 of them wear tinfoil hats, that's funny. But half of the people there out of 4 people wore them, and they weren't even next to each other, which means I had to search for at least one of them. Terrible. You know, this is when you know people don't have a sense of humor and don't understand what people like. It's all about them, me, and them. I can't stand Brandon Fugel. What is a multi-billionaire? Oh, he's just now a billionaire. That's an accomplishment. And you can't down that. What a great life he's living, though, isn't he? Well, all joking aside, he's really living it up. It's nice. I'm glad for him. I just don't like him in ufology. I don't understand since there was never any evidence given to us for 10 years when the other guy owned it. And then he sells it to him. They became friends. Then he sells it to him. And he's like, hey, just use it, man. Use it as a tool for whatever you need, man. It'll get you recognition. It'll put you on the map. People will look at you differently. I think that's why Brandon Fugel did that. I think that's why he bought Skinwalker Ranch. But I also know and I'm going to say this because I'm a guy. He did it for her, for his wife. He says, I'll just buy it. She says, if you buy it, I'll live there. I bet you he bought it for her. Why else? That's what it is. He did it for her. Sieg Fugel has got... Ooh. That's why he bought it. He did it for her. No, he bought it. No, I don't know when they met. I think 10 years ago. So he already knew her. I think that's who he bought it for. And I'm going to stick to that. All right, next. No, it's not good. I forgot to delete it. Robert Salas tweeted, please see UAPAC paper 5, UAP, a public need to know. It is a part of a book of papers sent to Congress. We must all continue to demand the release of information on the UAP. Keep pressing for open witness hearings. Please. And this is part 5? Whoa. You know what? I'm going to put the link in the chat room. Look at this. You know, I can't read all this now, but I'll put the link in the chat room now if you guys just want to take a dive and take a look at it. Robert Salas paper. Here you go. I put Robert Sals. That's all right. Anyway, just look at that at your own leisure. I'm not going to go over that now. It's too much. I'll read it and then I'll come back tomorrow and we'll talk about it. All right. Now, earlier in the week, Elizondo was on Dr. J radio show last year. And earlier this week, yesterday and the day before, I think the day before, I played a clip of Lou Elizondo answering the most difficult questions. And I only got to 2 of them. There's a couple more that I think you should hear. And I just like looking back on a year or so ago to when Elizondo was the hottest thing since sliced bread in ufology, going on all these podcasts, just regurgitating the same stuff over and over and over and over. But Third Phase of Moon is friends with Dr. J, and they got in a few questions with Michael, too, from Dark Hour Paranormal. So here we go. It's fun.
Work. So again, it's not that we don't trust the American people. There's just no way to have that conversation with 500 million people and keep it from our enemies.
It's 340 million.
You know, I do think you're starting to see the look. We have conversations all the time that there are rogue nations that have nuclear technology. Yeah. Maybe the specifics of that technology is classified, but the fact that country has nuclear technology isn't so much a secret. The same thing with this. The fact that there are things flying around in our controlled airspace that we don't know what the heck they are. We don't know how they work, and we frankly don't have a clue for where they're from or what the intent is. That's not a secret, and it shouldn't be a secret. I don't think physics and the mathematics should be a secret. What I think should remain a secret is our critical technology. I will tell you this right now, that if I had to choose between disclosure and full disclosure and sacrificing our national security, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't sacrifice our national security for that. Now, is there?
What if somebody did? Because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take somebody having to break the law. We just saw that with Greer saying that, and so did somebody else. I can't remember. That's the only way. If it's going to come from the government, that's the only way. But you and I and everybody else who knows ufology a little bit deeper, the civilians are going to be able to give disclosure. We're the ones. How? I wonder, will that happen? You would have to have an alien as your friend, and you would have to record the alien. You would have to call over the news, who for a fact probably wouldn't come over, and then you sort of demand or maybe offer to pay them, lie, do something to get them over, send them a picture. I don't know. But that's the thing. And once you go to the media, they shut you down. They will call the proper authorities. Everything gets approved through the media. It's supposed to, I think. Because I've worked with the media before when, doing storms and some other things in the UFO community as well, when I was in Arizona. So yeah, they have to get things approved, of course, but how are you going to get that? This guy says he has an alien, and here's a 3-second video he sent us, and it looks real, boss. Should I go with it? No. Are you kidding me? Unless you want to do it as a joke. I don't know. I don't think so. No, don't do it. Who is it, by the way? And she gives him the name and everything. They hang up. Now he's calling the Pentagon. We just got here's a name for you. Rich Giordano claims he has a live alien living with him. Here's the 3-second video he sent my representative. Yeah, it looks real. Why don't you go put a car on him or something? I know it's your job. That's your lingo, though, right? Somebody needs to watch this guy. Anyway, and that's how it happens. And the next thing I know, somebody's trying to break into my house with a screwdriver. And my neighbor, true story. I told that story before. I think that shit really happened to me. 2 cops came over. They weren't even cops. Most likely weren't cops. I never went back to the police station. That was only right up the street, 1.5 miles down the road. Strangest things that ever happened, I swear to you. The first 5 years of my life in this field were pretty freaking awesome. Yeah. Anyway, let's see if Lou could answer this hard question.
Is there a way to have a conversation where we can still have disclosure and protect national security? Well, that's precisely what my colleagues and I are trying to do. We're trying to thread that needle very carefully. None of us want to compromise national secrets. None of us want to hurt this country. But what we do want to do is get that information that's not classified, that information that does squarely belong to the people of the United States and potentially the world, but certainly your taxpayer dollars were paid to find answers, and now we have some answers. You deserve those answers.
So it's pretty cool. At least Lou is engaging and trying to answer the big questions. But again, he seems a little dodgy. There's certain things that he can't.
Lou Elizondo and Dave Scott have the same eyes. They're identical. And these glasses, to me, just the eyeball area, very, very similar.
Talk about.
Sometimes you live long enough, you see the same eyes as you once did.
Obviously, there is a national security issue
Something
in
like
regards to some of the technology that is indeed military and private organizations' assets. But, he's trying to beat around the bush. But then again, we even have another big question for him. So let's get back to this interview here. Listen.
There's a follow-up question for Blake and Brent Cousins of Third Phase of Moon, the world's largest UFO YouTube channel. How far advanced do you think private corporations have in technology? Do you think Lockheed Martin may have developed a Tic Tac? Has Lou asked Lockheed what assets they have in their possession?
Wow. That's a really good question. Let me answer this this way.
By the way, it doesn't matter what show Lou is on. Once an interview, he will always say, that is a really good question. But this is when that all started. He never did that until he started here. Seriously. Lou, they changed Lou. And Lou had to change. Lou was protected by TTSA for 4 years or so. They kept him away from the smaller podcasts and people that don't think like him or don't have the same narrative or intentions as they want to give. But then once Lou was, he quit TTSA and went on his own, that's when it all unraveled. And we saw him for who he really was, because Third Phase of Moon pushed the envelope when Lou was on Spaced Out Radio. And then again, he went on Dr. J's show several months after, I believe. And they really had a personal influence on these questions getting through. I want to hear the answer.
Have we asked? Yes. I'm not going to tell you what the answer is.
What was the question, Rich? Because you talked for half an hour. The question is this. How far advanced? Excuse me. Just read that.
Wow. That's a really good question. Let me answer this this way. Have we asked? Yes. I'm not going to tell you what the answer is because part of that answer requires approval from certain organizations and military contractors, and I'm not at liberty to answer on their behalf. I've made it very clear what I said, and I went right up to that line by saying, when I was asked, do I think that the U.S. government is in possession of this exotic material? And I said yes, and I stand by that. But at this point, I really can't elaborate much more beyond that, only because this is still unfolding. And what we don't want to do is the truth be told, the last thing we want to do is to scare the gopher to go back into its hole. It's just now poking its head out of the hole.
And that's where we are at right now. We scared the gopher back. The gopher got scared for some reason and went back in the hole about a year ago. Could that be the reason? The government told us too much, but they really didn't. In a way, they did, though. They admitted a lot of things that I don't think they should have if they didn't mean it. Off-world vehicles, when that article came out and then it was retracted, the next day, that was like Roswell all over again. That was done on purpose to get a nice feel for where society is with UFOs. And I can tell you right now, society thinks there's an alien invasion on the way because they keep hearing of a false flag from some side out there. That they just know, that's what they think. And you remember people who were around 3, 4, 2 years ago, the threat. Don't forget, they put that threat out there, and people just can't forget the threat. They can't. And we don't know what it is, but it's a threat because it's in our airspace with impunity. Right? I'll put the link to that one in the show description as well. Let me show you a picture. When I was at the beach, I met this girl, just a stranger, and she goes, "Do you want to take a picture?" And I said, She goes, I'm in the way. And I said, no, you're fine where you're at. I go, I'm going to put you in there because I need something for depth perception, huh? And that was pretty good. Well, you'll see. So she was cool. Her name was Kelly, I think. I think she said Kelly or Terry. She had a boyfriend. I didn't know when I first met her. So I was, game on. And very rare to see, this woman just walked right up and was very, very, very nice. And we were talking. I said, oh, is this your first time here? Yeah, oh, yeah. And I'm like, oh, yeah, there's dolphins and everything. And we were talking. She goes, oh, my God, there they are. And we looked at these dolphins for about 5 minutes. And all of a sudden, her boyfriend walked up, puts his arm on her, got a claim. Nice looking kid. I don't mean any harm, so I just backed off. I didn't say anything or act like I was looking at her. But she was very, very friendly. More friendly than she should have been for a girlfriend. That's my opinion. Yeah. Just my opinion. But I'm going to show you these dolphins real quick. There were about 20 of them. This is cool. Yeah. And I think she's in one of the videos. But she's wearing a G-string, so I don't really want to show that. Okay, this might be good. Yeah. Yeah, let me show you this video. This is cool. You can see the doll. I'll show you the best ones I got here. It was high tide too.
Something out there. Check this out.
There they are.
There they are, right there. It's 2 dolphins.
Oh, wait until you see the other videos.
Yeah, they came right in. They're right here.
All right. Oh my God, I made a mistake and cut you guys off. I got to go back. It's pretty cool though.
I just got splashed. Those dolphins popped right out.
Look at them, man. That's so wild, isn't it? I mean, this water is only 4 feet, 3 feet.
Those
People were out there.
popped right out.
And right here, you can see the color difference from this here to right here. It goes from 3 feet to a shelf down 45 feet to 65 feet in some areas. That's the depth of this. When I fly my drone out over here, it throws off the GPS, and I almost went in the water because it said I was negative 40 feet. And I put the joystick the wrong way because I got nervous and I almost went in the water. I actually still have that video. But this is pretty cool, the dolphins. Hey, Into Thin Air, we played your video earlier. How you doing? I'm just showing the dolphins. Look at that. And there's a lot of crab around this area. A lot of small fish. I don't know what kind, but it's a great place to go hand crabbing. It's what they call it. You can just go pick them up with your hand. I'm not going to show this. I look like a mess. I made a video for you guys. I was supposed to put it up last night, but I fell asleep. It's ready to go. Right after the show, I'll put it up later tonight. All right, here we go. Dolphins, where are you? Here we go. This is the one I just played. Oh, yeah. Hold on. I got to make sure these videos are... Oh, this is a good one. All right, let's take a look. All right, this is a good one. And then that'll be it, probably. Let's go back to the start.
Sharks come up here too.
They're right there.
Have you been here before? Oh, okay. It's a cool place to be. Oh my God, I know.
This is amazing right here, what happens. These dolphins, they just go nuts for a second.
They're still out there.
It was really windy too. There they are.
Yeah, there's a lot out there.
There's like 4 of them. Look at that.
Yeah, there's a lot out there. That's crazy.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot out there. That's crazy.
It's a good day. Anyway, that's it for tonight. Thought I'd share a little bit of what I'll be putting a video in for the members and for the patrons. So that'll be in for sure later on. I'm really sorry I didn't get that last night. But after tonight's show, I am going to go work out. Tomorrow night, we're going to be on Rebellious Unknown. It's real hard for me to remember that title. Hey, Valerian the Mac the Third. How you doing, man? I thought I saw you here earlier. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. Glenn Collins. How you doing, man? Samo. I think I forgot to say hi to Samo tonight. Jeanette. How you doing? Justin A.D. Menard. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night. It's Thursday, but I'll be on Rebellious Unknown right after. So tomorrow, we'll go for an hour and 35, 40 minutes, and then we'll, at 9 p.m. Eastern, we'll be on Rebellious Unknown with Dave, Caitlin, and Lynn. It'll be a really good time. We're going to be talking about the Wayne house. Is that what it is? Hold on. She told me what it was. Let me pull it up. It is... I can't remember what they call it. Me and my silliness. I can't remember. Here we go. It is... The Whaley House. Family and Haunting. So that'll be awesome. Can't wait to do that tomorrow night. I look forward to it. So we'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern right here. And thanks for hanging out with, we do it, Truthology. Hey! Truthology for ufology. Yeah. Like I said, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Be safe, be good to each other, and keep looking up, especially when you're looking down. We got to come up with something to end the show that way, right? Alien bless, everybody.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.
Control, this is Flight. We're tracking 3 fast-moving objects.
Warning. Control life. Warning. Warning. life.